Welcome to the Shephard Family Enterprise LLC, Business Administration and Information Systems Consultants, Project Management Database System, PMDS, Operation Management System, OMS, training sessions. All system training sessions are designed to allow each project manager's personnel the ability to learn all processing steps so that your project management tasks for clients or customer-based activities are fulfilled to completion and on time. Using our PMDS system will allow your project managers to effectively streamline any additional use from other application resources used as a tool to structure your agile project management framework and environments. Our PMDS system will quickly allow your project manager to match all current and new professionals with the right project assignments and tasks, making your production lag time decrease by 15% or more. Let's get started. Our training sessions will be divided into 7-level training sessions. Training level 1, beginners. Training level 2, intermediate. Training level 3, advanced. Training level 4, structured information and resources. Training level 5, networking for business opportunities and clients. Training level 6, your computer application systems and the use of its features. Training level 7, learning how to obtain information about your company reports and meetings. Each level training session will increase in complexity, but the focus will always be to ensure that you have a full understanding of what is needed to set up the customer record to begin your project work from start to finish. For example, Training level 1. Beginners will cover the initial engagement of a potential client and log that potential client as a prospective customer. This will allow your company salesperson or company consultant to reach back out to the potential client to see if there were any additional questions needed to be answered that would be prompt that their interest in becoming a paying customer. Training level 2. Also, intermediate persons will engage into a more effective role as a project manager. In this role, the project manager will be documenting, then engaging into the new customer business-related ideals and obtaining important business-related matters that your company can assist to either restructure or improve in their current processes. It will also include obtaining an estimated cost analysis that will focus on giving the customer the best solutions for the right costs. Training level 2, intermediate. While in the active role as a project manager, you will be documenting business approach and objectives, keeping consistent contact with the contact persons who are assigned in making all financial decisions concerning any additional resources that may be needed to complete each phase and task created. This role will also be included with submitting the necessary service request tickets for obtaining new customer numbers and project numbers. At the end of each training session, I will be crossing out the training level that has been fully covered and completed. For example, training level 1, beginners. When we've completed it, it will be crossed out. Training level 2, intermediate. When it's completed, it will be crossed out. Training level 3, advanced. When it's completed, it will be crossed out, and so forth and so on. Training level 1, beginners, part 4. For the Project Management Database System, PMDS, Operation Management System, OMS system. This training level 1, beginners, part 4, will be covering the Business Operation Project Build Service Form for customer accounts, requesting an administrative project number and relationship with the customer account BIN administrator, and build customer account screens. Then the verification of customer number and account status on the client customer worksheet, customer service screen, new customer worksheet, part 1, part 2, and part 3. As in the previous training sessions instructions, I will be crossing out what we have covered at the end of each session until we have covered all forms related to the topic. For example, find order customer number button. Cross it out. Order number query field, cross it out. Customer number query, customer business name query field, consultant rep ID query field, order number order number drop-down menu, project number field, customer rep ID field, current order number, action drop-down menu, assign consultant button, previously covered, a customer account status drop-down menu, project condition drop-down menu, customer account number field, business name field, location of business, city field, business state drop-down menu, business zip code field, country drop-down menu, client representative name, client representative function field, client representative contact number field, client phone extension field, submit for action button, save and update record button, and open part 4 button. And the rest is self-explanatory. We'll be covering all these different things as we complete them. I will be crossing them out as previously explained. Now, the first thing we'll be doing, we'll be covering our customer clients menu. And we'll be going into our client customer worksheet screen. By doing this, we will be clicking the customer number worksheet, screen button, and once we click the new customer worksheet button, it will take us to our client customer worksheet customer service form. All right. Now, the first thing we want to do is this information we previously covered, so we're just going to speed past this. If you would like to review exactly what's going on with the screen, you can go to our previous videos and monitor that, but I will just be doing an overview. Now, what we're actually going to be doing, we need to find out, once we have acquired our customer number, we want to be able to request a project number. And these are the fields that we really need to look into in order to identify whether or not all the information is needed so that we can actually proceed. Of course, we need the customer account status. We have to make sure that status is active and the project is pre-approved and there's a customer number. The next thing, we want to make sure all the information contained in where the location the customer is available, and filled in. Once you obtain all the client's information at this stage, we will proceed to part 2 of the customer account client worksheet, so that we will ensure all client information for customer account requests has been approved. Once we have clicked on the open part 2 form, it'll bring you to the next part of the form, and here, as you see, the project number is already populated. Don't worry about that right now, because this field will not be populated because of the fact that this is what we will be requesting. But what we want to do is to ensure that all the information pertaining to that customer is being populated. For example, we have the customer account number, we have the order number, and the project build number would not be completed at this time because for the sake of this training session, we're using a customer number that's already had been worked, and we are just going through this example so that you have an understanding once we go into the actual database. And here we have the business introduction complete, and that's basically going over the overview of our company, what our company provides, and everything like that with the client. All this information has to be submitted, and make sure we have a contact number so that we can reach back out to the customer if we have any questions. The next step will be actually the build a project administrator. This right here would change as far as depending on what steps you're in. Again, the project number will not be populated because that's what we're going to be requesting number for, right? You want to look at the update date. So the update date is, you can actually use any tool that you want, but you always want to monitor when the last time you updated this record. This is for audit purposes. So if you made any change, anything like that, you can actually do this, or we can actually go back into historical and look at who's the last person actually updated, and it was updated by the project management team at this particular time, right? Because they are the ones actually working on this project. Always remember to save and update your record, okay? And then submit for action. This will ensure all concerned business areas are updated on any changes related to the new or existing customer accounts. Then we're going to open part 3. Now, in new project engagement worksheet part 3, we'll ensure that the customer information is active. Okay. And we also want to make sure the counting action is action. That means this is a paying customer, or then in process, we have already completed negotiations with the customer, and the customer has already made initial deposit so that the project can move forward. And then the corporate account level status active. That means that on a corporate level, we acknowledge this customer, all the checks and balances have been evaluated, and it's okay to proceed with this customer project. Again, the project number will not be populated because this is what we will be requesting. And again, the account project number, which we'll be covering in the later sessions. All right, and this number is actually the number that is associated with the project set sequence number. Okay, so there's only one project set sequence number. Okay. Per account project number ID. Okay, so for every project set sequence number, which we will talk about later on in later sessions, there would be only one account project number ID, and this is how we track our clients, and this is how we invoice them. Okay. And ensure that the manager approval name information is there and the project manager information is populated. And then the contract method, service type, this is administrative and studies, this is the inner project, and the contract method type, and this is the contract active. And then if you have any other information pertaining to this is one of the things that you need to look at to make sure it's completed before you actually submit and try to request a project number. Okay? This is only for new clients. All right? Again, the PM project manager assignment date and the pre-approved project status and the project funded status. And then we have the project condition, which is a pre-approved project, and the project number bill status will be completed once we have acquired the project number, right? And that's when the project manager would actually start building the project. As you see here, project manager status, building project team, resources. And then you put in the necessary notes that you need, right? And then again, the project manager would actually put in the planned phase date, and then the business subject if pertaining to the particular project, and any business discussion you may have, and then any concerns. Then you will save your record. The next thing we'll do, we'll click on the customer account administrative project number request button, which this whole session is all about. Once you get to the screen, okay, the first thing you'll be doing pertaining to the customer, the new customer that you want to submit for a project number, you will put in their customer number. Once you submit their customer number, the customer number information will be populated in the bottom portion of the screen, and all the information that you need in order to proceed in requesting the project number. Okay. Now, the first thing the person that's actually answering this request, we're looking at whether or not it's an order number. This order number is blank, and then they would probably contact you and find out more information about it. Make sure that is this a pre-existing customer or this a new customer. Okay. And then also they will ask to find out if this number is here, the order number is there. They want to know what is the order number action. If it's not populated, they want to know why it's not populated. Okay, then you have your service request number, right? And the service request number is actually the number that was submitted in order to get the to get the customer number, right? And then you have the service group number. And that's the service group number is a group that's actually pertaining to the individual that actually was working this ticket. And then you have the location of where the project is actually being worked. It's a service project group name ID, which is this project was actually created in Ohio and this task. And this is actually in the development area. And then you have the service group name, right? The project management team. And then you have the department location. The department location, which this whole project task has actually started, is in the corporate branch in the city of Cincinnati, in the state of Ohio. And then we have the service request project number. And the service request project number, this is a drop-down menu here, which I'll show you in actual database. And what you do, you will click this drop-down menu, and then you will select a project number. Once you select a project number, you cannot use the same project number again. It would actually generate an error. All right. And if this number is blank and this number is here, this only indicates this project actually has a service request project number associated with it. Okay. And then you have your reference number, build reference number, and this only indicates that this project here is actually been created already. Okay, and if this number has been created, project number has already been created already. You have to go through a different tax in order to get a project number built. And you have the project set sequence. And the project set number. Once the project set number is in place, they will let you know that this project number is actually being tracked by accounting so that anything that's done within this project is being billed. It can be billed individually or it can be billed as a whole, okay, depending on the project set sequence number. Okay, for each project set sequence number, as I explained to you before, there is a different number associated with this, but a project set sequence number is associated with the project itself, and anything that is billed under this project is bundled up, okay, and charged under this number. And this number here, this will actually be broken down based on what's going on. Okay, and here you see the project number is being tracked. Okay. Okay, and the next portion of the screen, you have the project forecast date. All right, which they have not actually put a forecast date in this pertaining to this project yet, because of that they want to make sure the project is actually approved and there's no problems with building the project, because there's a lot of checks and balances go in after you submit this request. And once everything has been approved, then this project forecast date will be populated the next time they go into this record. Again, they would look at the next step, which would be project administrator. Of course, it wouldn't be project administrator, it would be project build administrator. Then next step explanations, build project number. And then you have the contract number, which we previously described and explained that situation, as well as the customer account contract number. And then we have the creation date. The creation date is actually when we made the ticket, created the ticket. And whether or not the project's being tracked, yes or no. And then we have the assigned project manager name, which will be coming in from the client customer form, and whether or not there's assigned resource, and if there's update needed. And the project build status is completed, so I'll just let you know at this ticket that there's no need to even try to build a project number associated with this customer unless you want to build something from scratch. And if you're trying to build something from scratch, which is not really, let's say the company wanted you to, they want a different project, doing something totally different, then at that particular time, we'll go through the customer worksheet form, and then we'll put all the information, and we'll send it back to the project manager. The project manager will build the screen, will build all the information necessary to the customer, get the customer information, and then we'll go back through this process again and build a new customer number, okay, associated with this customer account. And again, have to go through this approval process, whether it's disapproved. Then we have the approval date and approved by, and whether or not protected documents. And then we have approved project indicator and the project funder status. The account status is this right here. The account status is actually coming from the corporate level, and account actions coming from accounting, letting you know that they have gave the go ahead and to approve this project and begin project work. Again, you will save the request. Then you will complete the request if you have no further updates to this request. And then if you don't want to complete, you just save the record for other updates. Okay, and this right here will actually pass down to all the concerning customers, okay, related to the screen, so that they know what's going on pertaining to this customer. Okay, now, and within the screen here, you have to ensure that there are a couple of things you have to look at. All right, again, we have, I can't stress this more, the manager have to approve this. Okay, and the reason why the manager have to approve this request, to make sure that all the checks and balances have been looked at before we proceed with this project. Okay, because once you build the project number and the project manager start working on this, we don't want to go back and say, well, listen, this person doesn't have, the address is not right, or the account number didn't match up, or anything like that. So the manager actually is vouching for the initiation of the project itself before it goes to the customer account, okay, manager, and the finance officer. Okay, so make sure this information is actually here before you actually proceed. Okay, and again, you have project approval date, which will be populated after the project is approved. There's a checks and balances for this as well, and which we'll go through in later sessions. The approval process for the project, and the project approved by, and the project's subject, and the project topic, and then we have project discussion if there's any. Okay, then we have any concerns pertaining to the project, and then we have extended concerns if needed. Now, if there's any tasks that you want to push out to other entities or other professionals, then these are the buttons that you would actually click and to assign it, whether it's internal, external, anything like that. Then you would build your requests based on that. Okay, if it's external, of course, you have to come up. It have to be within your budget, so that you have to bring in, so that you can pay someone to work on the project with you. Okay, or get the approvals that you need to get this done. Okay, Now, the next thing we're going to be doing, we'll be clicking the project management button. All right. And that project manager button will take you to the PMDS project management control menu. And what we'll be doing, we'll be clicking on the administrative build manager button, which the project build administrator will actually be manipulating and gathering information, doing the checks and balances, make sure everything, all the approvals in place before you actually build the project number. Okay, there's a long process in that as well, which we'll be covering in later sessions as well. Okay, this is the project administrative build manager screen. This is where all the process actually begins when they get ready to start building the project number, which, like I say again, we'll be going through this in later sessions. And right now we're just going through the request itself. And once we finish the request, then we'll go into the different the project build administrator and its approvals. Okay. Okay, now we're going to the actual PMDS system to begin our in-depth training level 1, beginners, part 4 session. Business operations, project build service form, customer accounts, and administrative project request numbers. Okay, screens and features, which is the 5th part of our session. Again, I'm just going to cross all these out because we covered all this information already. Like I say again, if you have any questions pertaining to any of these different areas, let me know that I can go in more detail if you have any questions on how all this works. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to our database system. Okay, again, the first thing we're going to do once we get to this customer, like we already established a relationship with the customer already in our previous sessions. So what we're going to do now, all we're going to do is we're going to put in that customer number, then we're going to click the Find Customer button. And this is going to bring down the information that's needed for the customer. Again, like I say, you have the customer number and the current order number action, which is a signed customer number, right? And we have other different things as well that we negotiate. Again, the project number will not be here, right? And the project set sequence number, right? And the project set sequence number only indicates the fact that this project is being worked by a project manager, right? So this number has already been built already. Again, as we described before, we have the account project number ID. Okay, there's only one account project number ID associated with a project set sequence number. Okay, the account project number ID, there's only one account project number ID associated with one project set sequence number. All right. This is how we actually billing the client. So when this project set sequence number change, so does the account project ID. So you may have different iterations of the project number, and that way you be able to track and say, okay, this project it's the same project but a different set sequence, and depending on the politics of it, they will either keep it under this if it falls under the project account project number ID service agreement. If not, we will assign it another one. Okay, if it does not, then we will change this number, right, and put another ID here, account project number ID, and then change the project set sequence number to, like this is 1, we'll change it to 2. Now here you have the project set number, right? The project set number, all right, is associated with the project set itself, right? So this project set number combines everything that's being done under the account project number ID. All right. Okay. So you have the project number, and any project number, any set sequence, no matter how many there are set under this here, under this number here. Okay. So we can group everything together and pay them as a whole, or we can pay them individually based on account project set ID. Okay. So that's something you need to know as far as project number is concerned. All right. But we'll get off into that later on. All right. Okay. Again, you have to make sure the consultant rep name is here, the consultant rep ID, the date of the call, the time of the call, and then you have the purpose of the call, the description of the call. All right. So we'll go down. As you see here, we have the customer status, which is active, right? And project condition, it's a pre-approved project, and we have the customer number, right? Then we have the business name, we have the location of the business city, then we have the state, we have the zip code, the country, then we have the business website, the client representative name, which, we're not really worried about that right now, but that's supposed to be, we will say, I'm going to say, Shephard, okay, and then client representative function, operations manager, then we have the person's number, right? Then we submit this for action, okay. So I'm going to save this, okay, and then we'll go ahead and, like I say, we'll save and update record, right? Okay, and then we'll go ahead and open part 2. Okay, now in part 2 we have here, all right, as you see here, we have all the information filled out, the project bill status complete, which we will be talking about in later sessions. We know that the customer has a customer number, has an order number. What we are going after is the project number, the sequence number, the project set number, and the project number, and the account project number ID. Now, and the project set. Now, those of you who are working with projects and stuff like that, once this is set up, all you got to do is build the project. This probably be one of the most detailed part of the project. It may seem very tedious right now and stuff like that, but you'll see why this is very important as far as when you start getting to your financial statements and your budgets and everything like that, how you distribute your information to accounts, budget, divide your accounts into the different departments that you have or you have created. This is going to be very important, right? So that's the reason why I designed it this way, because once this is set up, once you complete it, you'll never have to do this again. The only thing you have to do is put in for a project set sequence number, right? And once you do that, all it does is change this, right? Change this, and then this will not change because all this falls up under the project number, okay? And you have to make sure is assigned to a consultant, which is beyond that at this particular time. The business introduction, the contract number complete, which is yes. Then you have current order number action. All right. Then you have this, and you have a follow date. And if this follow date is blank because of the fact that it's an internal thing, I can actually put that in just like that, if I wanted to. But this project is way beyond a follow date right now. Okay. And then we said updating project database system to improve customer relations and invoice consistency. Okay. And again, once you do this, you'll update record. Okay. All right. You update the record. And then you will submit it for action. We're not going to submit it for action because it's already established. Then you open up part 4. Right. Excuse me, part 3, sorry. Okay. Now, the new project engagement worksheet part 3 is the last screen that you will be engaged in. as far as building this customer, anything else pertaining to this prior to this being the last screen is actually verify the information, make sure everything is set. Now, once the project number and all information is set, this screen will only be used for verification to make sure that the status of the customer, what's going on, everything like that. Now, most of the detailed information after this particular session, we go into the project itself, and you have to contact the project manager. If you are the project manager, there will be no need for you to even go into the screen anymore. You go into the project build administration, project build area, which you would do all your updates. Okay. And as we've seen before, all this information need to be filled out. Okay. A lot of information will not be here, like I described before, because once you start, before you build it, the project number, all this right here won't be here. Okay. All right, then you had the contract method and everything like that, order number. Then you have your project manager information, the project bill status. Then this information here that we previously went over in our PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and then you have your notes as necessary, possible resolutions. You have your notes 2 and 3, right? And then you have your planned phase date. Then you have your discussion, concerns. You save your record, and then we'll go into our project accounts, right? I'm not gonna push this number because, but you know, we already submitted for this customer already, right? So what I'm going to do, basically, I'm going to go ahead and I am going into. Did I already do this already? Okay, we are going to the customer accounts administrator project number requests, right? So again, like I say, you put in the customer account project number here, right? And then once you do that, you click the button, you click the search button. It will bring up this screen. All right, and as you see here, all the information pertaining to this customer, we populated. If it's not populated, because it has not been set yet. Since this project has already been worked, all the information is already populated, so there's no need for you to try to update it. All right. So again, once you are doing this, the only thing you would probably be looking at when you get to this stage is the stuff that's not highlighted, okay, in yellow. The service request number. Right, project number, which is highlighted. You don't have to update this because it's only indicating that the number has already been set. All right. So, but as I've shown you here, if it wasn't set, then you'll go through here and you'll set a number, right? A project number, request number, and that will go out to a team that would actually be working this. Right here, you have your project set number, which is not here yet. Okay, because I haven't finished working on the project yet. I'm still working on it. So it's not been, and plus it's not been billed, right? There's a budget for it, but it's not been billed. Okay. So this is a project number being tracked. All right. And then you have your other information here. Okay, then you have forecast date. You have the next step, project build administrator. You can set it to whatever you want, as we have here. Next step explanation, and then you have the contract. You have serve the contract number from. You have the creation date. You have the tracking project, yes or no. Assigned to project manager. Do you have assigned resource, which is no on this particular project. Updates needed, yes. Okay, and then you have the project build status, which is completed because, like I say, we already finished building this project. And you have the project status, that's building account, which is on the project management side. They actually still building the project and adding more information to it. Project status, which has been approved. The project approval date, which was on the 20th September 2019, approved by myself. And this is not a protected document. Pre-approved project indicator. Then we have the project has been funded. And the active status, the account status active, and the account status active, and account actions is active. So we have on the corporate level, on the accounting level. Okay. As I described to you before, this information has to be fulfilled. You'll look at this. Okay, once you from looking at this particular area here, you'll know that the project's already being worked. All right, so there's no need to even try to update this service request ticket anymore because of the fact that it's being worked. And if you do try to put information there, it's really going to screw a lot of stuff up. And here, as you see here, you have your different tasks, right? And this here, since there's no task here, but if you was create a task, all this information would be filled in, right? You have the customer account number, order number, all this information is needed, and then you put who is assigned to, right? And their name, the group name, all this other information here, and then sign your group ID and task start date and everything else, anything they want to do. Okay, and then they go here, back whatever they want to do. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of that, right? Okay, so the next thing that would take place, all right, in this particular session, once this has been done, okay, the first thing that would happen is that the project build administrator will come back to the project management control menu, and they will click the administrator build button, right? Okay, so which we will be going to this later, but I'm going to go through this in brief with you. So what happens, I'm going to click the administrative build manager button, and it'll take you to the manual build customer project number accounts. Okay, you will put in the customer number, okay, and then here you will see that this customer has already been worked. All right, this is a service project, so this was the project build administrator will be looking at, see if there's a request put in for it, and like you say here, this project build status is complete, so there's no need for him to even work this. This first part of the screen right here is the initial screen, is when they first come in and they're thinking about building a project. So this information right here is populated. This isn't populated because this is an internal project. So it's already been established that this customer is already, which is us. Okay, but the second part is letting you know that this project is actually has already been completed, right? Okay, so you look at this, you see all the information pertaining to the customer has been approved, the project status, all this information right here, all this information have already been processed already, and as you see, the order number, the project number, all this information pertaining to the customer is actually here. So we have that. Okay, now let's see. This. Okay, we have the project number. Okay, so we have everything we need for pertaining to this customer, right? So this customer already been built. That's all I'm saying, right? And so there's no need to even try to go into anything on here. But we are going to this in our next sessions. All right. Okay. In the next session, we'll be talking about the manual build customer project numbers accounts, and we'll go through this process. All right, and how we go about building the project and approvals and etc. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for watching our video. Again, what I'd like for you to do is to subscribe to our training sessions, to the Shephard Family Enterprise Project Management Database System, PMDS, Operation Management System, OMS, and push like and share with your friends or people who are maybe interested in learning about our project build, our project management database system. And this is how I make a little additional money so that I can do more videos like this, and I can actually it helps me improve the process of me going out and helping other people build databases and stuff like that, and startup fees, everything like that. And plus I use a lot of the donations to help youths to acquire the knowledge that's needed to come up with certain businesses and create businesses as well. And I set them up with the database and get them started and do free training and everything like that, and get them started and motivational sessions and things like that. So your donations and your sharing of this video and likes and comments, if you can, if you think that I can improve these sessions and make it better, anything like that, let me know, okay? And I'll look at it and I'll evaluate it and see how I can go about implementing into my database system, okay? All right, thank you very much for your time, and stay healthy, stay safe, and stay strong.